everybody, Crafting Journey here, that Journey chick on Instagram. Welcome to the Saturday edition of the morning show. So, I have a room full of animals here. Tootsie's there. Where's the kitties? Stitch was hanging out here. I hear him in the kitchen. Are they eating your dog food? No. Okay. I hope you ate your dog food. Yeah, I hope so. Okay, Tootsie says hi. Okay, my update, back is still sore. Motrin seems to be helping, and of course the Flexeril helps, but the Flexeril it knocks me out. So I'm trying to just take that at night, especially, this past week when I was working. So, but the good news is I'm gonna live. I'll get through it. So last night I was diamond painting. I did a Friday night Zoom for everybody because people are off at the retreat. J Rob's at the retreat, so she didn't go live. Mickey's not feeling well, so she didn't go live. So I put up a Zoom for everybody to come in and chit chat, and we chit chatted till like well over midnight. And I just so value those women's company. It's just so much fun. So I started out, I was doing some crochet, and then I played some Animal Crossing, because like I said, we were there for hours. And then I came out here and did some diamond painting. So what I did was, the eyes here were supposed to be 310, so I used 310 ABs, Aurora Borealis. So this is just an iridescent coating on top of a black diamond that it actually makes it look more bluish than black. But I think, so now she has blue sparkly eyes. Yeah, googly eyes. So pretty. Yeah. I like that better than just solid black eyes. Because like here, in the little doll that we have here, she has black eyes. So Alice has blue eyes. Yeah. So that's where I am. I'm going to cover up these other sections. I just opened it up so I could do her eyes. Now, if you wanted, I get a lot of questions about these release papers, these papers here. You can get these on Amazon. If I can find the link, I will put that into the description if you want to order some release papers. Also, some are sold on Etsy. They, they put fancy, you can get some with colors and drawings and things like that on Etsy. All right, I need pens. So I was at the point last night where I needed to replace the wax, or the glue dots in this tip. So let's take that one out. It wasn't sticking anymore. So I use, in the tip, the single placer tip of my diamond painting pens, I use this. They're micro dots for fine detailing, glue dots. Now, I have a new camera, so I'm not sure I like the lighting so well. Yeah, but it gives you a wider angle than the older camera, so now you're seeing a lot more of my craft room, which means, you know what, I got to clean up this mess behind me. that mess right there. And you see part of my craft desk. This is where I keep the drills, so they're not cluttering up the painting. But I like that you're getting a wider angle of the craft room. It's pretty, and it's in 4K. My other camera was 1080p. So what you do with these glue dots is you just kind of scrape them into the tip of the pen, and I usually grab a couple, and then you can put maybe lotion or something on your finger. I don't do that, but you just kind of push it into the tip, and I just keep doing this to get it off of the sides and into the tip. If I think 2 is plenty. Okay, so 2. I'm gonna have to start ordering these. This is 325 dots on a roll, and I'm getting down to the end of this roll. Now, what I use in my multi-placers is this Quake Hold. It's museum putty. I don't use it in my metal four placer because I don't feel like the putty works very well. It doesn't stay in the four placer very well. So if I'm using a metal four placer, I will just go ahead and use pink wax. But I really like my plastic thin placers. I really do. I don't know. Old dogs can't learn new tricks. Something like that. So we're going to diamond paint today. Well, first let me tell you, there is not going to be any judge, jury, and journey today because, well, I can do it briefly. I'll tell you a couple of things that happened yesterday. But first of all, in the FSU murder trial of Dan Markel, I am still listening to the wiretaps, and I gotta be honest, half of it makes no sense to me. These two people are having a conversation and I have no idea what the heck they're talking about. No, I don't know what the context is. I can't relate it back to the murder or the conspiracy. So I'm surprised that the judge is giving the prosecution so much leeway with these wiretaps because it's honestly so boring and so, like I said, I'm struggling to find how it's relevant. I don't know. Except that it does appear that Charlie Adelson and Catherine Magbanua are really worried about this guy who's trying to extort money from them on behalf of Luis Rivera. You know, they're they spend their time on the phone, talking about theories of who it could be and why they're doing this, and it's kind of funny. And she's like, they're going to be sorry, and and I'm thinking, it's the FBI, guys. and they that's one option that they just haven't considered, that maybe their phones are bugged, or at least not yet. So more to come on that. So the other thing that's happening in the crime arena is yesterday, Derik Chauvin was sentenced for, he was found guilty of second-degree murder, involuntary manslaughter, second-degree murder, which is involuntary manslaughter. No, I'm saying this wrong. Second-degree murder, also third-degree murder, and involuntary manslaughter. 3 charges. He was found guilty on all 3 charges. So first we heard from the prosecution in the hearing. And this is a time where the victims get to come up and give statements. They're called victim impact statements. So we heard from the nephew of George Floyd. We heard from the brothers of George Floyd. And it was quite moving. I mean, obviously they really, really missed their brother. And no amount of jail time is going to bring their brother back. But they did plead with the judge to give Chauvin the maximum sentence. Then we also hear from the daughter of George Floyd, but she appeared by video, and you could tell she was maybe at a psychologist's office. Someone that knows how to talk to children was asking her questions, because she's very young, 4 or 5 maybe, and she's got the cutest little southern accent. Yeah, I would tell my daddy I love him. It's so sweet, and I miss him. Yeah, that one brought my tears to my eyes. What really got me was when it was the defense turn to do victim impact statements or talk on behalf of Derik Chauvin. His mother got up there. Now, we've not seen her at all. She never came to the trial that I know of, because each side only got 1 chair because of COVID, but I never saw her in that chair. In fact, the chair was empty for most of the trial. So she said she was speaking on behalf of his entire family, and that drill is upside down. It was quite moving. I mean, I can't even imagine if this was my son, what would I say? And all I could do would be to speak to, the person that I knew. And that's what she did. She said, Derik Chauvin is more than what you're seeing here in court. He's not a racist. He's a very gentle, quiet soul. He was dedicated to the police force, even volunteering to go in on his days off. And in fact, in this case, he was not scheduled to work that day, but they were short staffed and he agreed to come in and work that day. So, but, and she talked about, how by the time her son gets out of jail, she won't be around anymore and she'll never be able to, take her in his arms and hug him and kiss him. And it was very moving. I was like, oh, that's so sad. But he killed somebody. Yeah. Then the judge asks Derik Chauvin to stand up at the podium with his attorney. And he says, do you have anything to say? And he says, well, and I knew that this was coming. I knew he was not going to say anything because he has federal charges pending. He doesn't want to incriminate himself. He's not going to apologize for anything that he's done because he doesn't believe he's done anything wrong, and he's still going to defend that position in federal court. So if he were to make an admission during this portion of the trial, it would be used against him in the federal court. So, and he said, because I've got legal matters pending, I'm not able to say anything, but I do want to offer my condolences to the Floyd family. What else could he say? But then he says something really weird. He says, things are going to come out in the future and then you'll understand. I can't imagine what that could possibly be. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, we all saw what happened. It's not like we weren't watching Mr. Chauvin. We saw with our own two eyes what you did and didn't do, and you didn't rescue him when you had an opportunity. He was in your care and custody. So then the judge adjourns the hearing. He says, I'll be back in 15 minutes to give you my decision. So he comes back 15 minutes later and he sentences him to, what he did with the other two charges was, because he says, I can only sentence you on one charge, and that would be the highest charge, the second degree murder, which carries a sentence of 10 to 15 years. He sentenced him to 22 and a half years because of the number of aggravating factors in this case, including, that he failed to render aid, that he abused his position of authority, that, he committed this crime in front of children. There were so many aggravating factors to this that it allowed the judge to sentence him upward, is what it's called. So he gave him 22 and a half years. Now the prosecution had asked for 30 years, but he got 22 and a half. So I imagine now the appeals will start. We know that the other 3 officers are going to be tried sometime next year. So that should be interesting as well. Now, I don't know. It looked to me like the Floyd family was not happy with this verdict. They thought he should get the 30 years. The crowd, that had gathered, they were okay with it. They were like, yeah, 22 and a half years. They felt like, they had been vindicated, that justice had been served. I think it's sad when anyone has to go to jail. It's sad that this man got to this point. Clearly he had control issues. You know, he liked being in a position of authority because he had the control. He just abused it at, during this period of time. So that's Judge, Jury, and Journey today. Monday, I will bring you more of the wiretaps in the FSU Law Professor murder case. So, I have some news, and I am just bursting at the seam to tell you, but I cannot tell you. I'm sworn to secrecy, but you guys are going to find out soon enough. You'll probably already know by the time you watch this video, but oh, holy cow, I'm just like over the moon about some news that I heard. Anyway, hope you guys at the retreat are having a fantastic time. I saw Uncrafty Crafters live. I saw you guys were having a wonderful time drinking before noon. Really, girls? Really? I looked at the clock and I went, what? Wine coolers before noon? Okay. And you're not going to get a lot of crafting done. But it sounds like they're having a good time. So, you know, I can't wait to the one in October, which, by the way, is full. There are no more openings for the October retreat. Yes, oh, that's 45 of my friends. Woohoo! Yes, I'm dancing a little bit. I took some Motrin a little while ago. So today, my plan today is to do some cross stitching. I want to work on my Alice cross stitch. And that will allow me to sit in my recliner and watch a little TV and do some cross stitching. You know, relax my back. Of course, I'm going to play some Animal Crossing too. So last night on Animal Crossing, I figured Robin helped me figure out how if you don't know Animal Crossing, I apologize, but I finally got enough stars to make a magic wand, and with the magic wand, you can change your outfit, like just with a press of a button. And so Robin showed me how to pick my outfits out. So I click the button and I'm a cheerleader, and I click the button, I'm a witch. You know, it's really fun. I know I'm weird, but it's. So now I got to figure out the whole terraforming thing. Like terraforming means you can change the shape of your island. You can add waterfalls and all kinds of cool things. So that's something I want to figure out now. Yeah, it's fun. My goodness, this color is everywhere. Everywhere. I did say I was going to finish this diamond painting by June. My new goal is mid-July when the mystery diamond painting starts. That event starts. There we go. Ooh. All right. Kitten capers. I have some for you. Take a look. What'd you think? He was really going. He was determined to get the ball out of that toy. He was going to find a way, and he didn't get it. He was not successful. Now, the other thing, I've got to figure out how to film it, but I have Stitch is playing on the iPad, so one of these days I'll film that, and you'll see that in Kitten Capers, or Cat Capers. All right. What national day is it? It is National, and this is a new one for me, Summer's Giving Day. It's always the first Sunday, the first Saturday after the summer solstice. So it is officially summer. We know that. We've got the thunderstorms to prove it, the hot weather. But summer, what do they call it again? Summer's Giving was started by this man who loves turkey. And he's like, I want to have all turkey with all the fixings more than once a year. So he had a barbecue. So the suggestion is, gather your friends and family for a turkey barbecue, or you can fry the turkey outside. Have everybody bring your favorite dishes, just like it's Thanksgiving, and celebrate summer. Yes. But, make sure you bring the bug spray and something to keep you cool. Make sure you got a pool in sight because it's hot. It's hot out there. We had a big thunderstorm here last night. In the middle of the Zoom, it was really thundering and lightning. And Tootsie hates thundering and lightning. It does unnerve her a bit. Do I have any of these up here? I don't think so. No. I still have a couple of holes up here to fill. I'm more of a cross-country painter. Some people they'll do this section, and then this section, and this section religiously. I kind of open it up. I'm like, let me do 2 sections at a time. It's just the way I am. I know, it's weird. It's weird. I know one person, my friend Robert, who he'll do the entire, I don't think he does very large paintings, but I could be wrong. But he'll do one color and finish the whole painting of that one color. Then he'll do the next color, and then he'll do the next color. I do not recommend that method, but it works for him. It's there's no right way to do this. Anyway, so I wanted to show you guys. I've never shown you my portfolio, and I wanted to show it to you guys. Now I have this is a smaller portfolio. Let me just cover this up here. Let's see if I can show you. This was a star ore painting, 2 wolves. Now this is before we knew anything about, when I first started diamond painting, nobody knew about licensed artwork. What's licensed artwork? And I was ordering all of these diamond paintings. This was my very first square diamond painting, and oh, the angst that I had. It just felt really weird for me because it was the first one I ever did, but it came out so beautiful. My pen just fell on the floor. Then we have, let's go this way, the dragon. Now, this is sort of a lesson in bigger is better. If this had been larger, there would have been a lot more detail, and it would have been a really fantastic picture. It's still cute. I liked it, but and this one was it square or round? I'm looking at it. I can't tell. It's round. Yeah. Then we have the Harry Potter one. A lot of people have done this one. This is the Harry Potter with the book and the light and the bird. I think it came out really pretty. That's an example of where small works, Then I did this partial here. This was actually started by my granddaughter, and I ended up finishing it for her. Then we have the trees. Those are beautiful, pink and purple trees with a little path going there. These were all my first diamond paintings. I think there's 1 or 2 more. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Now this is a Diamond Art Club, and this is licensed artwork here. This is so gorgeous, and forgive me, I don't remember the name of the artist, but and I have one more of his paintings, but I really love this. It's gorgeous, and a lot of detail in a small painting. Now this one was square with Aurora Borealis. Now this one was a partial. Let me just take this. It's going to be easier if I take it out and show you. Look how pretty. It's just her dress that I painted. But that was one of those, you know, AliExpress specials. I don't shop on AliExpress anymore. And that's it. This is my favorite. Isn't that pretty? Yeah. Okay. Now good thing I put that stuff on here. There's like little flakes everywhere. It's fine. It's fine. Okay. All right. What else? Oh, this day in history. Oh, a very important day in history too. Let me find out where it is. This day in history. This day in history. Where is it? Right there. Now it's going to take me to an advertisement. No, it's not. Okay, good. So, that's not what I want. Come on. Okay. On June 26th, 2015, the Supreme Court, in a 5-4 decision, 4 people dissented, decided the case of Obergefell versus Hodges, and I probably butchered that name, and I apologize. And this was a huge decision, and what it did was it allowed for same-sex marriages throughout the country. It just said the states can no longer ban same-sex marriages. So they were granted equal rights to heterosexual couples under the law. And how this originated, there were 2 couples. And what happens with the Supreme Court is if they get a lot of cases that are very similar, they'll just consolidate them all. And so they consolidated several cases and then just called it the Obergefell and Hodges case. But it was actually several cases. And 2 of those cases were very tragic love stories. The 2 women had been married. They'd only been married a short period of time, but they had been together for 40 years. 40 years. And they knew they couldn't get married because it wasn't legal in the state that they lived in. So that state didn't recognize it. So one of the women ended up getting a severe debilitating case of muscular dystrophy and ended up as a quadriplegic. So they decided to get married. So they got married, and when the woman that was quad passed away, on the death certificate, the surviving spouse was listed as her wife. But what happened was the state that she lived in didn't recognize same-sex marriages, so she was taxed on the money she inherited, on the estate that she inherited, like $300 and some thousand. And she's like, nope, I'm not going to pay it, because if it had been a heterosexual couple, they would not have had to pay that tax. But since the state didn't recognize her marriage, and they said that the death certificate should change to reflect that she was single and not married, this woman decided she's going to fight this, and she's going to take it all the way to the Supreme Court. And as you can tell, this day in history, she won. The other couple was a male couple, and similar story, very, very similar story. They were together for a very long time. They decided, well, they were together for a very long time. One of them comes down with Lou Gehrig's disease, which is a severe, your respiratory system eventually fails, but all your muscles fail. Your whole body just slowly fails on you, to the point where at the end you can't even breathe and you pass away. Lou Gehrig's disease is just horrible to watch, and so he became this guy's caretaker, and they decided they wanted to get married so they could have the same rights as a heterosexual couple. So in order to accomplish this, he had the spouse that was healthy had to find a state that recognized same-sex marriages, and where he could by himself apply for a marriage license. Some states you have to have both couples there, both people there to get the marriage license. Other states say only one person has to be there. So he found them. He rented a jet. He rented a medical plane. He had it had a hospital bed in it. He put his spouse into the hospital bed, well, his boyfriend into the hospital bed. They flew to this state. He got the marriage license, and they were married on the tarmac of the airport. And then they flew him back home because they couldn't take him off the plane. So they were officially legally married. But the state that they were living in didn't recognize these marriages, and of course his spouse passes away, and then he's in this legal battle, which he won. And I'm very, very grateful that Supreme Court finally recognizes this is a right that they should have. They should have the same rights as a heterosexual couple. As an attorney, I was really passionate about that. I had one couple that I represented, and in general, when you have, like, if a person gets into an accident, their spouse has a claim for what's called loss of consortium. So what that means is during the time that the person that was injured was recovering, the spouse had to step up to the plate, take care of his spouse, take care of the house, take care of the medical needs. They probably weren't having sex. So it's a whole, they have a claim for loss of consortium to make up for all the stuff they had to go through in order to assist their spouse in their recovery. Well, this was not available to same-sex couples for the longest time. So when I was attorney, I had a same-sex couple, and she had been injured in an accident, and I, in my complaint, filed a loss of consortium claim for her wife, and I was successful. I didn't have to go to court to challenge it because the case never got to court, but the insurance company bought it. They said, yes, we'll pay for the loss of consortium claim as well. So I was able to get the one spouse money for her injury and the other female spouse money for loss of consortium. I hope that made sense to you guys. Yeah, anyway. That's the show for today. Oh, my back hurts. Time to put heat on the back. It's like somebody's just going, Yeah, ow. And it's not like my neck is fine. It's like the middle of my back and then like down the left side. So I'm sure it's just some swelling on the nerves or something, yeah. Anyway. I love you all. Thanks for tuning in on a Saturday. So as I jibber jabber, I will see you tomorrow in the morning show live. I have absolutely no idea what I'm going to do tomorrow. But we'll have a show one way or the other, and we'll get together and chit chat. I love you all.